Hey everybody, Chad here. Happy New Year, by the way. Now, if you're watching this video in the future, this video applies to you. It's not just a Happy New Year, first of the year video. But what I want to talk to you today about, why don't you get what you want? Why doesn't law of attraction work? And we're going to do a 30-day challenge. And I'm doing this challenge myself. That's why I kind of want to do this video, because I'm doing the challenge myself. I'm doing a 30-day challenge, and it's going to continue going on and on and on. But the 30 days is just to get you in a routine, okay? Now, what's the 30-day challenge I want to share with you? What am I doing? And one of the things I found out is when you look at law of attraction, when you talk with people and say, well, law of attraction don't work, I don't get what I want. Now, what's really the root cause of not getting what you want? What's the root cause of I'm not attracting what I want, okay? Most of the time what happens as an adult, as we get older, I don't know, maybe it's just me. As we get older, we start focusing on what we don't want, okay? We start focusing on what we don't like, okay? We start focusing on what we don't like about a job rather than what we do like. We start focusing on what we don't like about a relationship rather than what we do like about a relationship. You get what I'm saying? If you're really honest with yourself, you don't have to be honest with another person. You don't have to share this with another person. But if you're just honest with yourself, okay, what are you focused on? I had a brain fart there. I apologize. But what are you focused on? Are you focused on what you do want to achieve? Or are you constantly thinking about what you don't want, what you don't like? Okay. And it's easy to fall into. As we get older, I know for myself, it's easy to fall into that trap. It's easy to go backwards when we get out of the habit of studying, okay? Studying personal development, studying a law of attraction, doing little exercises daily that we should be doing. We fall out of the habit. So we go backwards. We start thinking what we don't want. We start thinking about what we don't like. Or we're hanging around friends or hanging around people at work that constantly we're hearing them nag and complain about relationships, what they don't like. Then next thing we know, we're doing the same thing. Okay. So that's why even for myself, that's why I thought about this 30-day challenge, and I already started it because I'm going to do it with or without you. So hopefully you join in. But the 30-day challenge is this. What do I want? Okay, that's the first thing on attracting, law of attraction, attracting what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, well, you're kind of in a state of confusion. It's kind of like, things want to come to you, but they're not, because you're not focused on them. You don't know. So when you're in a state of confusion, you're not going to attract anything. If I ask you a question, a simple question. I've had these questions even asked for me, and pretend I'm going to ask you this for real. Okay, sit back for a second. Pretend I'm going to ask you this question. If I ask you, what do you want? Seriously, I'm asking you, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want out of your life? What do you want to achieve? What do you want? I pause here, so I want you to think. What do you want? Now, the test here is, if you blurt it off right away, well, I want this, I want this, I want to achieve this, I want this in the new year, I want this in a relationship, okay? If you've done that, you're on your way. You're on your way for attracting that. And there's other things we can do to kind of accelerate that, okay? But the main thing here is, if I ask you, what do you want, and it stumped you, you don't know. It's like I asked you a trick question. I said, what do you want? And you're just like, huh? What? What, Chad? Oh, you asked me. Say that again. If it stumped you and you don't know and you have to think, well, that's an issue. That's right there. That's why you're not attracting what you want. Okay? That's not what you end up attracting, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here. You end up attracting what you predominantly think about. You're constantly thinking about what you don't want. That's what you attract. Okay? That's why that question stumps you. That's why if someone asks me that question, sometimes that question can stump me if I get too focused on what I don't want. If I get too focused on the negative. Okay? So this is a 30-day challenge. A 30-day challenge. And what I did, I just took out a notepad. Just a simple one. And I either stick it here where I do my morning routine. I stick it by my nightstand on my bed, either right when I wake up right when I go to bed. Something in a routine that you can do this easily every single day for 30 days. And I wrote on top of it, I wrote, what do I want? Okay, what does the Chad want? And I just sit down and I just write a list of things I want. Now, in the beginning, you were fine. I get this. In the beginning, you were fine. This might be difficult. This might be kind of like making a birthday list or a Christmas list. As we get, don't you think it's funny? As we get older, it gets harder and harder and harder to make a Christmas list, to make a birthday list. Someone asks you, hey, what do you want for your birthday? We have no clue. Nope, there's an issue with that, okay? Because we're constantly thinking about what we don't want. So this is the first day I started this, and I didn't even think, I just started sitting down, writing random things I want. Okay, now it's scattered all over the place. It's what I want in a relationship, what I want career-wise, travel-wise, simple things. But I'm just writing. I'm not thinking too much involved. I'm just writing them down. Okay. Now this was it was kind of a tricky little exercise because I haven't done this for a long time. And when you haven't done something for a long time, you get rusty at it. So that's the whole point. So every single morning or night, I want you to do this every day. Take a notepad, a simple notepad what I got here, write down on top what do I want, and just make it a list. Okay? But what you'll find, I've done this before, what you'll find, you do it day after day after day, you get better at it. You start getting more specific on what you want. Right now, when I made my list, it's all broad stuff because I haven't done it for a while. And you might find that too. You might just start writing down broad things. So I want this, I want a good relationship. But then when you start doing it a few days in, you might start getting more specific in that relationship. Okay, what do you mean a good relationship? Okay, start getting specific. And you start getting more and more specific on what you want. Because remember, the specifics are what you're going to attract. Now, I'll give you an example. I wrote down, one of my first things I wrote down was work remotely. Okay, work from home or work remotely where I can travel and still work. No matter where I'm at, I can still pull up my laptop and still work. But when I say work remotely, that's a broad topic. It can mean, well, if I focus on working remotely, yeah, I can attract that, but it could be any type of job. Okay, if I want to get more specific on a certain type of career, a certain type of job, a certain type of job title, or more specific on what am I doing remotely, okay, that's going to fine tune that I get exactly what I want. Because in a broad sense, I might be working remotely, but I might be doing I might be doing something I don't want to do remotely. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by attracting. You have to be very specific, okay? So, and don't worry about, in the beginning, I'm not very specific. Okay, your first step is just to write things down. Get in a habit of writing things down. Get in a habit of thinking, what do I want? But what you'll find is, okay, after you go this for a week, you go into your second week, you just automatically going to start getting more specific on what you want. You're going to get better and better and better at it. You're going to start thinking about it more because you're doing this exercise. And this, my friends, is really the first step in the law of attraction, attracting what you want or whatever you want to call it. Again, not to go on and keep on talking about this. Let's wrap this up. You don't attract what you want because as older we get, we stop thinking about what we want. We fall into bad habits. We fall into negative thinking. When we think about a job, we focus on the negative. We think about our relationship, we focus on the negative. When we think about our friends, we focus on the negative. And that kind of spirals downhill a little bit, and we start just thinking negative all the time. If something happens, we think about the negative consequences of it rather than the positive side of it. And one of the ways to stop that, it takes a little bit of work. It takes personal development. It takes creating little studying routines. And a studying routine doesn't have to take an hour every day. It could be a simple 5 minutes in the morning, something like this, that you do every single day that starts you down that process. But this, my friends, right here, this 30-day challenge is a must. This 30-day challenge is what sets and goes to the root of you attracting what you want. So I'm doing this. Hopefully you join me. I'm going to do this for 30 days. I'm not going to do a video of everything I'm writing down, but I wanted to share that with you. This is something I'm doing, and this is a work in progress, even for myself. Even if this is something I'm into, I fall in and out of habit, of doing things myself. And when you have experience of falling in and out of habit, you you see kind of the peaks, the kind of like peaks and valleys and stuff like that. You see, like, you get really good at it, then you get out of the habit of studying. You get, something throws off your morning routines or your bedtime routines. Maybe you go on vacation and come back. Something simple as that. Something throws it off, and you kind of start, you start kind of going down a little bit. You start thinking negative. Those are just the simple things that we have to control. Mind control is one of the hardest things we try to control. And what I want to end this with is, especially if you have kids. If you have kids, no matter if they're small, teenagers, already adults, when you have kids, you have a different example, because when you have kids, usually kids, teenagers, in their early 20s, they go to college. Usually, most of the time, they attract what they want. Why? Because they're so focused on what they want. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly what college they want to go to. They know exactly what they want to do. They know exactly what they don't want to do. You know what I mean? That's why sometimes as a kid, they just do this naturally. They end up attracting what they want naturally, because they're just naturally doing what they want to do. They just naturally focus on what they want to focus on. Okay, somewhere along the line, we lose that as adults as we get older, and I've experienced that myself, and maybe you've experienced it too. But anyway, my friends, I want to wrap this up. Do the 30-day challenge, the 30-day what I want challenge. Just take a simple notepad, just in case you just jumped in, you missed what I said. Just take a simple notepad, nothing fancy, and I write on top, what do I want? I make a list of things I want. In the beginning, I might be broad, okay? Don't worry about the specifics. Don't worry about don't overthink it. Don't force it. Just write down what you want. And you do this every day for 30 days. And what you'll find is, one, you'll start thinking more about what you want. Okay, you're getting a habit of it. Two, you get more detailed. You get more specific. Okay, then at the end of 30 days, you just keep on doing it. Okay, you get in a habit of doing it. The more you focus on what you want, the more goodness you bring to your life. Other than that, my friends, I'll see you in the next video. Thank ya.